Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hi there.
So we're going to start over at Signs of the Times. And we see a fireball was spotted above Bournemouth in the UK. And actually, we've had a bunch of fireballs. As we know, we've had a very active couple years. So this one shot across the sky in the early hours of this morning, and that's not the only one. As we see one over Spain. And we also see one down here over Australia, over New Hampshire, and over Ohio. So these are all just from the last day and a half.
I don't know. That one looked like it was going kind of sideways, though.
Yeah, they always kind of look that way to me, and then they just kind of brighten up and right through the portal and out the other side.
Yeah, they just kind of do that.
Not to say that, some of these may very well be either beings in a Merkaba or ships themselves.
Some of them are, for sure.
Crazy weather again. Unseasonal. Powerful cold bringing a burr to April. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, if you just got your stuff into the ground, this is not good.
I know. I have some friends that are kind of concerned about that. So we're trying to help her manifest things not getting too cold. But I don't know if it's working.
Yeah, as you can see here, there's a lot of blue over northeast Texas, for instance, with temperatures that are going to just be a few degrees above the freezing mark.
And it is cold. It really is cold. It's miserably cold.
She's wearing like a shirt, a scarf, and a jacket inside the RV, guys,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
And we're going to jump over to Electroverse, and we're going to see we have England's coldest April since 1922. That was the year my dad was born. And Germany's chilliest since 1917. And we got Bill G that wants to spray the skies to cool it off even more.
Ah, that's so nice of him.
Somebody give that man a big S on a cape.
I know. Because he loves us so much.
Followed by an H, followed by an I. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And as we see here, 100 million Americans to suffer sub-freezing cold. So about a third of the country as far as the population goes. As the northern hemisphere snow mass climbs to a historic 2,400 gigatons.
That's a lot.
Can't you guys sense it? I think you guys do. That it's getting colder, guys.
It's definitely getting colder, for sure.
We're still going to have our swings. We are still going to have our swings. But overall, I think the push is going to be towards the colder. And, who's to say, and I've brought this up before and got a lot of grief for it, that maybe like the last 20 years of intense activity up in the sky, plastering of the skies with all these particulates that reflect heat out, maybe that's, the reason why we could be seeing some of these cold temperatures now. Of course, we know it's about the sun. Solar cycles have a big influence on things, without a doubt. The sun is so much bigger and more powerful than the Earth is. But let's not take out of account the technological things that are going on.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, it's going to be super cold, burr cold as we look here. April 20th, 21st today. Look at that, dropping down. Of course, it also has to do with the, with the jet stream dipping down, which a lot of that has to do with the magnetosphere. So they're all intertwined.
It is all intertwined. And, we know it's not natural.
And look at the 22nd. That massive cold goes all the way down into northern Florida and covers just about every inch of Texas.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, our brother Joe over in PA sent us a little video saying it's snowing again, guys.
And I saw that from our sister Nicole too. It's snowing there too. Sorry, girl.
Yeah, it's cold. We were talking to Robert over in New Mexico, and he was saying how cold it is still there.
It's cold.
And then our sister Carm over in California, and hi Raj.
Hey Raj.
Saying how chilly it is there too. This is something that I think is pretty undeniable at this point. So looking at the Arctic sea ice volume in this current year, we're the black line, which is right here. So if we look at it, we have more Arctic sea ice than we did in 2017 and 2020. And we're still below, we're right on the lower end of the running average for around the last 20 years. So just keeping track of that. Now, of course, sea ice, when it melts, doesn't change sea levels because the ice is on the water. That's why, with the Arctic melt, it doesn't change the sea levels. Antarctica is a landmass. So when you have that melting off and running into the oceans, that's a different story.
Yeah, then we can write things a little differently.
Yes. And of course, the western Antarctic shelf has a whole bunch of volcanoes under it that are waking up and speeding the melt. So Typhoon Sergei did leave 3 people with their lives lost, 230,000 displaced in the Philippines.
That's so sad. It would send our energy to them.
Yes, send positive prayers over that way. This season's just gonna get started now. And this was a beast, an absolute beast as you see it traveling. And, we already got a record breaker storm here as far as, this is a Cat 5. What's this year going to bring? All the extremes that we are seeing. All the homes flooded out, crops washed away. Gotta say, could we do a better job in taking care of our people on this planet? Absolutely.
Well, we can. We have the ability, but we don't have the leadership.
No, yes. Well, we won't go there, but yes, At least 14 dead, 8,165 displaced after flash floods hit Luanda and Angola. This is, again, hitting every single continent.
That's too bad.
So let's send our prayers and best intentions and energies over to them. And so we have one of our family members say that the Galactics had mentioned nukes. Do you really think nukes exist, or is it just a fallacy? There really are no nuclear weapons, and what we have gotten from the Galactics, and not just the Galactics, but other guides, is...
Well... No, I'm sorry.
Well, just think to what the angel says.
Well, which angel?
John.
John always comes down and he's always working on us.
But then when our energy is really high, he actually uses it.
He does use our energy. When our energy is high, he will actually take that and he helps help the dimensions. Like there's holes blown in the dimensions.
From?
Nuclear blasts.
That's what I was getting at. I mean, how did you not know that?
I don't know.
Yeah. So, no, they're real. They are very, very real. One of our dear sisters was living in Nevada when she was younger. And, she tells us what they used to tell her to do, things like, don't go
outside for like 3 days, don't go play outside for 3 days. But of course, they were children, so they couldn't do that. So they would go out and play with the ash.
Yeah, and so, there will be health consequences. No, yeah, they are real, absolutely real. They were used in ancient times as well. There's most definitely signs of nuclear warfare, or at least detonation, in multiple places across, the globe. And yeah, absolutely, it's a real thing. Fallout from nuclear bomb tests in the 50s and 60s is showing up in U.S. honey. According to a new study, although the levels of radioactivity aren't dangerous, they say, they may have been much higher in the 70s and 80s, researchers are saying. It's really quite incredible, said Daniel Richter, a soil scientist at Duke University, not involved with the work. The study, he says, shows that the fallout is still out there and disguising itself as a major nutrient. In the wake of World War II, the United States, former Soviet Union, other countries detonated hundreds of nuclear warheads in above-ground tests. The bombs ejected radiocesium, a radioactive form of the element cesium, into the upper atmosphere, and the winds dispersed it around the world before it fell out of the skies in microscopic particles. The spread wasn't uniform, however. For example, far more fallout dusted the U.S. East Coast, thanks to the regional wind and rainfall patterns. And, of course, then we have Fukushima and that whole travesty and Japan dumping more radioactive water into the ocean. Crazy, crazy, very misguided world that we find ourselves in, with either idiots running it or something far worse.
I would say it's far worse.
And we have thousands of tons of microplastics that are swirling around in the atmosphere. And some of these things can be blown across entire continents and can be inhaled. You wonder why, and there's many reasons why. Fertility rates have declined by over 50%, in some areas 60% or more. We're going into a population decline. There's no ways around it. And this is part of it. As, sperm counts, they're at record lows.
Well, that's really unfortunate, and the things that are happening to our children are really, really sad. And as they get born, their genitalia is getting smaller. That's really terrible.
Yeah, that was another study that came out too. And so, are we going to be all turned into the Greys?
Right, something.
We're all going to look like Zeta Reticulans at some point?
A little bit.
Is that the bigger plan?
Could be.
Because, they're a very, very subservient race. They just do what they're told. They don't question anything.
They're dangerous that way. It's true.
It's very true. By the way, this is Fireflies. I just thought I would share this with you guys. Is that not cool? It's with long-time exposure. Yeah, exposure with the nuclear fallout, yes. Yeah, that is really cool photographs there.
That's beautiful how they follow the branches there and the trunk. They stay mostly around the trunk. Isn't that curious?
Most definitely. So yeah, as I've said before, I don't think the system can be fixed with a bandage. It's like having an amputated limb and just trying to stick a couple band-aids.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's unfortunate. Things have to be pulled out piece by piece and looked at and see where they go and then put back in the right spot.
We need a complete change in this world, a whole new way of looking at things, a whole new system. It just needs a complete overdo. It's so obvious when we see everything that's going on all around us. But thankfully, people are waking up in droves, and people recognize this more and more every day.
Yeah, they will.
Thank you guys for being part of the family. Make sure you are subscribed on both channels. Thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Anybody needs to make an appointment with us, it's evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com. God bless. Stay safe, guys. Namaste.
Namaste.